get to go around California to talk to small business owners like you and explain why Facebook matters, one, and then two, how you can increase your presence online, and hopefully in the long run, by having a presence online, it increases your revenues and keeps you going. I believe you guys are the engine of California and keep people going. And the more we can keep you guys active and provide you with those tools as a social media platform, it leads us to our goal, which is to make the world more open and connected, and then beyond that, empower individuals. So, really quick background on me. So I joined Facebook back in 2004. So 2004, Facebook was about less than a year old, a freshman at Berkeley. Was there for freshman orientation. Instead of signing up for classes in the computer lab with 60 other students, I was signing up for something that they called the Facebook. So no one really knew what it was back then. It was a great way to connect with people you just met, a great way to find out what classes people were taking. Some people thought it was a dating site, for example. I mean, it was easier for me to send a message to a girl through Facebook and then connect with her that I saw in my class and to just approach her, right? So I share that story because Facebook has changed significantly, just how the world has changed, right? So, and I believe Facebook has helped us get to that point. But now, back then, it was a bunch of college students. Can anybody guess how many people are on Facebook today?
That's like 4.7 billion.
So 1.4 billion people use Facebook. About 890 million people around the world get on Facebook at least once a day. So it's pretty significant in terms of the level of reach that we have. And I say that again because the world is changing. So for us, if you look at how people are consuming their information, how they're consuming their entertainment, if you compare it to 50 years ago, where it was primarily done by television, radio, in the past 15 years, more people are looking to digital channels, right? So they're looking at Netflix, they're looking at HBO Go, other mediums. When you consume your news, a lot of the time it's happening through an app, whether it's a New York Times app, and it's happening on your phones. So how many of you have smartphones? So let me share a quick story with you about gum. Now you're probably asking yourself, what does gum have to do with anything that we're talking about today? So in the past 5 years, the sale of gum sales have gone drastically down. The reason for that is because if you ever go into the grocery store, and I actually ask you guys to do this, when you go in the grocery store, get in line to pay for something, look at what people are doing. So they're on their phones. So they're using their phones. That makes it a huge drastic shift in terms of how people are engaging with the world around them and how they're consuming a lot of their information. Another quick data points. 140 million people come back to Facebook every day. 186 million are coming back every month. And most of them are doing it through their phones, where they're checking their phones constantly. How many of you, the first thing that you do when you wake up is you check Facebook? See, I'm even guilty of that. So it has huge impact. 1 out of every 5 minutes that's spent on a mobile phone, and this is on a mobile phone, is spent on Facebook or Instagram. So that's huge. So now, thinking about reach, when you're trying to reach people, for example, if traditionally when you try to advertise something, some of the traditional mediums for advertising is either you put up a billboard, you run a newspaper ad, you run a radio ad. So the challenge with that is that you are reaching a broad swathe of people, you're paying a significant amount of money for that, but are you really reaching the right people that you need to reach? And with Facebook, that really matters because we give you the ability to target the folks that you really want to target and are most likely the people that are going to engage with you and your business. So let me give you a quick rundown of our agenda for today. So I'm going to talk about how many of you already have created a Facebook page? So you have one for your business? Good amount of folks? Okay. So I'll really quickly go through how to create a Facebook page for those folks in the audience that haven't created one. I'll talk about creating your posts. So what are the most effective tips and best practices to having engaging content that are gonna, you're gonna engage your fans, increase your likes, and have people coming back on a regular basis to your page or just engaging with your posts. I'll also talk a little bit about running an ad. So what does it take to actually go ahead and run an ad? We'll actually create one together, and I'll show you a couple videos that go into some of the different ad components that we have that may be useful to you. And then I'll go into measurement. So why does measurement matter when you're running an ad or just putting up a post to make sure that you're engaging with folks? After, we'll do Q&A, so let's hold questions till the end. We'll do a Q&A, and then finally at the end of our Q&A, we do have a $500 ad giveaway, so we're giving away 2 $500 ad credits. So definitely stick around because you have to be here in order to be eligible. So, really quickly, the distinction between the profile and the page. Many of you have your profile, so the profile is how you communicate with your friends. The page, the way we like to describe the page is that the page is like your storefront, right? So what do you want to tell people when they come into your store or are looking outside of the store and want to get a better sense of what you're about? So you can manage not only posts, but beyond that, messages, when people message you, comment, and then individuals that frequent, whether you have a storefront or just a business that frequent your business can actually post up reviews. If you don't have a Facebook page, really quickly, to get your Facebook page, just go to facebook.com/pages, and you'll, it's very intuitive in terms of the steps that it takes you to make sure that you're creating your Facebook page and it's done correctly. For those of you that already have a Facebook page, I highly recommend that you go back to make sure that you filled out all your page information. The reason why I always recommend that to folks, you have a storefront, you want people to know where you are, and then two, when people search for your business on Facebook, our social graph or our algorithm tries to bump up the actual pages that are more complete, right? So that's a way for us to make sure that we're communicating information that's full, complete. So if they're looking for an Italian restaurant and the person that's looking for that Italian restaurant is right next to your restaurant, just make sure you have all your information. That way your business can pop up first, rather than like Olive Garden. Hope no one here works at Olive Garden. So when you're creating your posts, so what would you tell people when they're coming to your storefront, right? That's really what you need to think about when you're creating your posts, is that you would most likely want to tell them about a promotion that you have going on. You want to tell them about a special deal that it's currently running in your store. What makes your products different than the products of your competitor? So all this should be thought about when you're creating content to go on your business page. And it shows up in a couple of different ways, right? So it's either just a quick post that you can post up, it's just text, photo, and then I'll go into video in a little bit. But I highly recommend that you avoid just doing text. And I say this because you should consider your own experience on Facebook, right? So when you scroll through Facebook, we're all very visual beings. So you're more likely to stop and engage with a post if there's an image there or there's a video there. So if you are going to have text, try to, sometimes you can't avoid it and you'll just have to do text, but try to make sure that you try to be as visual as possible. And I spoke a little bit about videos. So when you run a video post, videos are great, and we're seeing a lot more engagement with the posts that are videos. You take advantage of a couple mechanisms, right? So the two mechanisms that you take advantage of is if you post directly to Facebook, if you post your video to Facebook, it captures the whole screen. In addition to that, if the person has their phone, they've enabled autoplay on their phone, it automatically runs. So it starts running once they start scrolling onto your post. If nothing against YouTube, but if let's say you load the video first onto YouTube, the way that it shows up here is completely different, where it's just a small little box at the bottom, and you don't take advantage of the features that I mentioned before. So the more you can upload stuff to Facebook, you can upload videos, the better. So where does it show up? Again, I gave you guys the example of everything going to mobile. So this is an example of Jasper's Market. So for Jasper's Market, you would have the message show up between the posts that are most familiar to folks, the people that have engaged with that user the most, whether that's Tom's brother or Tom's best friend, Lindsay. So what we've done is we've made sure that we run ads, we run posts, but there's a limited space in terms of the amount of ads and posts coming from businesses that we can run. Just because, again, consider your own experience with Facebook. Why is it that you show up to Facebook every day, right? It's to see all those baby pictures, all those wedding pictures, all those cat memes that maybe you're into. So we really try to make sure that we limit some of the content, but you are still able to have a significant amount of reach as long as you create engaging content. People check their Facebook page or just their Facebook feed about 14 times a day. So that's consistently people going back to their experience to make sure that they're engaging with the content that matters to them. Now, let me share some best tips in terms of the posts that you may create. And I always think of it in terms of layering it, right? So when you create a post, you really have to be thoughtful behind the post that you're creating, why you're creating it, and what is the angle that you have. So first, let's think about sort of what is your business goal, specifically just overarching what are your business goals, and then dwindle it down to like what is your business goal with like a specific post. So you can either drive traffic to your website. If that's what you choose to do, you can drive traffic to your storefront, or brand awareness. If you just want to make sure that people know about you in the community and you're increasing your brand awareness, you would just talk about the important aspects of your business. So these are 3 examples, again, all highly visual. You try to keep the text to a minimum.